Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to day two of the Women in Aviation Global Summit, and welcome to this fireside chat. She can fly, educating and empowering the next generation. My name is Juli-Anne Lee, and I am honored to be your moderator for this fireside chat. Now, just a little bit about me. As the owner of the Truly Julie Experience, I am an event host, moderator, interviewer, and internet talk show host covering fashion, entertainment, and lifestyle stories. Now, my company specializes in providing publicity to young entrepreneurs in business for fewer than 5 years and nonprofit organizations, reducing the challenge for those demographics in obtaining media presence. Now, sitting with me here today is Tatiana Serrato, CEO and co founder of Elevate Aviation Academy, and I will introduce her through a short bio. Tatiana is changing the face of flight training in America. As CEO and co founder of the Elevate Aviation Academy, she leads a Florida based flight school committed to preparing the next generation of aviators, especially young women and underrepresented students, for careers in the skies. When a background in business leadership across traditionally male dominated industries like boating and aviation, Tatiana brings both entrepreneurial grit and a fierce dedication to inclusion. Under her leadership, Elevate Aviation Academy has become more than a place to earn a license. It's a space where students build confidence, community, and career clarity. Her mission is to ensure that everyone who dreams of flying sees a space for themselves in the cockpit and in the industry beyond it. Now, just a fun fact before we get deep into the chat, Tatiana and I are at the same location, which is at her company, Elevate Aviation Academy. This so happened because when we had our intro to call, we realized we were so close in location to each other. So spoke to her about it, and here we are.
Here we
Right.
are. Thank you,
So,
Julie.
good afternoon, Tatiana. Welcome to the Women in Aviation Summit. And how are you today?
I am doing good, Julie. Thank you so much for joining us today and for being here and making it happen.
Okay, so jumping right in, getting a little personal before we go professional. What first inspired you to become a pilot?
Well, actually, the person who is the pilot in our flight school is my brother. As you mentioned, I am the one who brings the entrepreneurial spirit, and we partner with. We have a third partner actually, who has been a big part of this as my brother. The way I got into the aviation industry was because of my brother, of course, and he's willing to change the education within the aviation industry.
Okay, so we know, known fact that there is a very small percentage of women in the aviation industry. And I'm not just talking pilots or flight attendants. Why do you think it's so difficult for females to enter the industry?
Well, I think that there's a huge lack of exposure. I
Okay.
think there's a lack of information out there, which is something that we are working on, uh, and trying to teach and open the door for the next generations of students. So we are trying to let them know that this is an opportunity that they can not only become pilots, that they can be part of an industry that, as you're saying, there have been underrepresented, and we are trying to encourage them to be part of it.
Okay. So, in addition to lack of exposure, um, what do you see as another one of the biggest obstacles in that girls interested in aviation face? Because I think that some of them may face, discouragement from like family members and stuff like
Hmm.
that. What do you think is another big reason why girls interested in aviation don't get there?
Well, there's no curiosity from there because they don't know that they have the opportunity of becoming part of this industry. And as you're saying, most of the time when they think they can be part of it, some either a family member or a friend will tell them, well, that's for men, or that's usually not used, girls are not used to study or being pilots. So I think that there should be a support, and a strong support around them to and encouraging them.
Okay. So, what advice would you give these young women who are interested in aviation, but they're getting that pushback or discouragement from the people closest to them, their family, community, teachers, friends? What
Well,
advice would you give the girls?
one of the previous panelists was were talking about knowledge,
Mhm.
right? And I think that's the biggest power that you can get.
Okay.
At the end of the day, Julie, once you get into it, once you start learning, once you start educating yourself, you will learn if that possibility is or is not for you based on your abilities too. So it's more a little bit of get to learn about the industry, get to learn about how is it to be a pilot, what their life looks like, and if you would like to be part of it, and your abilities go along with it. And if it does, it's an open path for you.
Okay. So, okay, so that was the advice to the girls.
Mm-hmm.
Now, is there any way, or should I say, what could you do? When I say you, I mean people in the aviation industry. What can they do to give exposure to the people that are surrounding these young girls to break the stigma of, oh, girls can't do it, so that they learn and they don't discourage because of their lack of knowledge? What do you think can be done for,
Well,
like, the parents, the teachers, the yeah.
today we are actually doing that goes along with what you're asking me. I think that this summit is a big part of it,
Okay.
and that's why I loved the invitation when they contacted me since the beginning, and that's why we're trying to be part of different workshops in different schools. Try to tell not only counselors from different schools, because if you let them know that, and their parents start to know that their girls can be part of the aviation industry again, not only being a pilot, not only being on the cockpit, but also within the different opportunities that the aviation industry has and is growing a lot. Well, they will see the opportunities that the girls have too.
Okay. So, okay, now that we've covered the people, these little girls or the underrepresented people, and the people that are close to them, their community, how important is mentorship in this industry?
Well, I think is not only important in this industry, but mentorship is it's all they need. Uh, Julie, girls and also boys,
Right.
all across the board, we need to see example. We need to be leading by example. We need to be giving them example. And this is, again, this is part of it. We're trying to do build professionals within Elevate that are going to be that example for those next generations. And once they see what can happen with them, they will be leading by example.
Okay. Did or do you have any role models or mentors in aviation?
Uh, well, it's tough for me to tell you mentors that I have mentors in aviation, but I can tell you that I've been really lucky because within my entire life, I've had my mom has been a really huge part of who I am
Okay.
and my personality. And I've had a few mentors within the last years. One of them is one of my greatest friends right now. And he basically taught me something that I try. That's why we're doing this, is because um, you will not pursue the opportunities that you cannot see.
Okay.
So if that's something that we can put on the table for next generations and show them what they have for them, that's all they need.
Okay. So, regarding mentorship for girls interested in aviation, is it important that their mentors be only women, or would it be wise to have male mentors also? Because
It's
this industry is heavily male oriented.
yes,
Um,
and I don't think there's like a, this is not about a gender.
okay,
It's more we want to be inclusive. We want girls to be part of the industry, but we want men to understand that they need to bring that support to the table. Again,
okay,
as I was telling you, one of my biggest mentors is a good friend of mine, partner nowadays, uh, and without that support within these years, this couldn't be possible. So yes, we are also trying to teach our instructors, our administrative team, that they need to bring more girls and be more supportive if it is needed.
okay. Now, in one, at least one of the previous panels and fireside chats, it was noted that one known fact in aviation is that many in the industry do not want to help others.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Couple of questions for you around that. Do you agree with that statement? And if you agree, why do you think that sentiment exists?
I do. I do agree.
You
I
agree?
have to tell
Okay.
you that yes, unfortunately, you're right.
Uh,
Uh, the only way that you can break through those things within the time is by, again, give an example, Julie. If you can, my whole thing and my culture within Elevate is you must be a team. And you're not a team only in Elevate Aviation Academy. You are a team in the community you live. You are a team in the work that they're gonna jump into an airline.
mhm.
So you need to bring more people in. That's the only way that you can actually break into those things. And it's just a matter of that's how things have been done in the past.
So that's why
It is, yeah.
wow. So, okay, so we know that that is a fact. What advice would you give the girls who may face this negativity from people in the industry? What advice would you give them on how to handle going through that?
Well, hard work,
Okay.
and learn. Stay curious, stay active. You're gonna get too many no's. You're gonna get too many situations where you're not gonna be comfortable with, but you need to be able to go through them and wake up next day and keep moving.
So, in other words, develop a thick skin.
Yes.
And I guess you need to remember your why you want to do it also, because once you remember your why, it will take you through all the navigate you through all the no's
A
or that you
hundred
may get,
percent.
or the
Yes.
pushbacks, or
Yes.
think like that. Okay, so from your experience, what is one reason or the main reason why girls want to pursue aviation?
It's it's amazing they're finding it more and more exciting to fly. I can see it. I have some girls here at the school, and the community is growing, which means we're doing a good job with the
Okay.
exposure, which is good.
Okay.
Uh, and there are many girls that are going out and on planes, and I have received many students that have been telling me, "Hey, Tati, the reason why I'm here is because I saw that the girl that the one who was handling the plane was a girl, was a
Oh, a
woman,
female
a
pilot.
female
Okay. All
pilot." So
right.
they're like, "Okay, so I can do this," and they're also corporate in the aviation industry is growing too.
Okay.
So they are
So
finding more
what
jobs
are
in there
those
too.
kinds of jobs? Because as you said, a lot of people, not only the girls, but a lot of people think aviation is just pilots and flight attendants. What
Mm-hmm.
other kind of opportunities exist within the aviation?
They have their technicians, their
Okay.
certified technicians. There are plenty corporate works that they can pursue, and they are when they fly, they get to understand the industry in a different way. And I have met many girls from many women from different airlines that now are jumping into corporate. So that's opening many doors for us as well.
Okay. So you mentioned that one reason why girls get interested in aviation is because they go on a flight and they see a female pilot. So that is a representation that they can relate to.
Yep.
What about representation in other areas, such as not just that, but and books hidden away in libraries, if you can
Mm-hmm.
find them, but in pop culture, like movies, TVs, magazines, and things like that. Do you think there is enough representation in those areas, social media, that girls can see? Because they are reading those magazines. A lot of young girls are now on social media more than they are in school,
Yeah,
right?
100%. Yeah.
And even when they go out into the world and they're at a bus stop or they're driving by and see a billboard and stuff like that, how much representation do you see out there like that?
There is, there should be more,
Okay.
and I think social media is playing a huge role nowadays. There's there are many ways where we are actually getting into those girls' eyes, and we are turning on that curiosity that I'm talking to you about. And the fact that we're doing this summit, how m- me personally in with Elevate, I'm trying to get mm, to do some workshops for these girls in South America. They can come here, they can be pilots, teaching them and showing them, presenting those options through social media. That's giving us a lot of exposure and a lot of representation out there.
Okay. Um, I was in researching this. I was, of course, looking through movies, for this representation section. And the latest movie I saw, now I will say that I didn't see too many with female
Uh huh.
aviators. The latest one that I saw was Top Gun Maverick,
Yeah.
which I think spoke about one
Mhm.
female aviator, and that was in what, 2022. That was a couple years ago.
Mhm.
Most of the other things I found were biographical movies and documentaries, but most of those were made from on pilots, like from the 1930s, like
Mhm.
Amelia Earhart and a couple of those others. And I found it interesting that I see more movies of female aviators in the early 1900s, but not as much in current day. Is it that there were more female pilots back then,
I
or
don't
is
think
it
so.
just that they're not making movies and writing books and stuff about current ones?
I think that back then we were. It was something that new, that a girl was in a cockpit, that a woman
Okay.
was in a cockpit, that became more um, public at that moment. Right now, we're trying to be inclusive
Mhm.
within every single thing that we see outside. But I think that it was only about the situation back then and how it was something really new for everybody. Now it's not that new, but now we're trying to bring more and more and more girls into the cockpit.
Okay. Well, to your point, it's not that new, but apparently not a lot has been done since then,
Not
because it's not, as somebody else had said before, it's still only a single digit percentage of pilots in the world that are female,
yet
certified female, whether it's commercial pilot or private
private.
or
Hmm.
anything like that. So, um, what opportunities are currently in the community for girls in order to meet and interact with female aviators?
Well, we've been trying to get, again, the workshops that we're doing for young girls. So we actually open the door and put it on the table as an opportunity for them. We're trying to get with summer camp, with different summer camps where where I'm trying to bring some of our current students so they can start being related to a girl that is studying aviation, currently studying, not a pilot yet, but they are in the process. And we're trying to bring these girls to different type of seminars or any
Okay.
type of teaching and showing not only little girls but little boys too, that
Okay.
they will that's what they will see in the future.
Okay. Um, being a part of a public school education system,
Mm-hmm.
have you thought of like starting aviation clubs in these schools where it's something they do extracurricular, but at
Mm-hmm.
least it's an option to them. Whereas you say you go to them and maybe do a presentation once, or you do something virtual with them, or something like that.
100%. Julie, for me, it's easier South America because I'm from Colombia.
Okay.
So I kind of and I studied elementary and high school in Colombia, so I understand it better, honestly. So, but that's something that exactly the same thing that we're doing there. It's something that I am willing to do here.
Mhm.
And we've had the conversation in the past with my brother and my other partner, which is something that we would be happy to do in elementary or high school, and have it be being part of the curriculum for the current students.
Okay. And if you had, with everything that you're doing now, if you had the opportunity to implement the next thing that you have the opportunity to implement, what would that be?
I would say that I would like to bring more female actual pilots or female women working already in the industry with more experience
Mhm.
to be mentoring more closer to these young students,
Okay.
to these current pilots, because I have many girls here that they come here, they want to become pilots, but I want them to understand and know that the opportunities are plenty, that if they prepare themselves for that future, it's they're not going to be wasting their time, and it's going to be better from them at the end of the day.
Okay. Back to a little personal. Since you started this company,
Mm-hmm.
did you ever feel like quitting?
Every day, yesterday night.
How
Oh,
long have you? How long have you had the
no.
company? How long have you been
It's been a couple of years already,
okay.
and it is not easy because it's there's when you have when you have an actual company and you have the responsibility only of the employees, right? And you said, okay, I need to do this so the company can be good, can be okay for the employees and their families. Here I have a responsibility for the employees, the students,
Uh-huh.
their parents.
Okay.
And it's not a game, it's we're not playing, it's their future, and it's their parents money, which
Uh-huh.
is a responsibility for me too. So I need to be able to deliver whatever is that they cross this door. We need to be able to say, if we said yes since the beginning, we have to deliver that to the students.
Okay.
And unfortunately, Julie, the industry, I don't know where it came from, honestly, but the industry is full of this misunderstanding from between the students and the flight school, and we're trying to make that misunderstanding be
What
part.
kind of misunderstanding?
There's a lot of students that come here and they couldn't do their check rights. There didn't the flight school didn't provide the hours. The flight school didn't provide whatever they needed, so they're not well prepared.
Okay.
So that's why I'm telling you that it's a huge responsibility with the students too, and we try to deliver every single thing we promise to them,
Right.
even though it's not easy, but we try.
What are the age groups of the kids that you have here currently?
Um, 20s, 20s,
Okay.
early 20s.
Okay.
Yep,
Okay. What's the earliest that somebody can get a license, as in from age wise?
17, 18.
17.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. All right. And you said you feel like quitting every day. Well, I'm glad that you don't and that you haven't, because obviously there's still a lot more work to do by everybody in the aviation industry. How do you um for these young people, how do you advise them to go and get mentors in the aviation industry? I know you're here,
Mm-hmm.
right? But everybody is not in South Florida, right? So what pathway do you think would you advise somebody? They say, hey, I want to do aviation. I'm somewhere other state. How should I choose a mentor?
Uh, well, if you want to start with the idea of being a pilot or getting to the industry through that channel, I would say that find a good flight school, somewhere that you feel comfortable with. And one of the things that I have with my admission department is the people that work there, they are willing to provide as much information as you can.
Okay.
Why? Because it's the beginning of everything.
Okay.
So not everybody, not again, the opportunity is not only to become a pilot.
Right.
So
Right.
how do you see yourself within a few years? It's tough to say how do you see yourself when you're 20, right?
Right.
But
You can only see so far ahead. Right.
exactly. But at the end, if you have a good advice since the beginning and you're hearing something that might be something that you would like to do, well, that's a good point to start. And then with instructors here, I try to either bring them to different expos, or I try
Okay.
to provide information to them so they can pass that information to new students or their current
So
students.
students should not only like call up flight schools, they should go to expos, they should go to different things and just ask, hey, I'm interested,
Get
I'm looking
as
for a
much
mentor. Can you?
get as much knowledge as you can
Okay.
from all the industry, not only flight schools, not only the expos, not only go online. See, every day there's an airline buying new planes, 100 planes, because they will need how many pilots in the
Right.
future. So
Right.
those are things that you need to see to be able to build a path for yourself within the
Okay.
future.
Okay. So what two things would you want to leave with the attendees here today about the industry, how you're contributing to the industry, how they all can contribute to the industry? What two things? One or two things?
Well, the first one is that I am, first of all, I'm super thankful for you guys for this interview, for the time, because I think the exposure, we are doing a good job, we are improving it, and social media is such a huge platform, and we need to get into it. And that's the first thing that I would say, we need to work more on that,
Okay.
so we can get to much more people and more and the younger generations.
Okay.
And the second one is being able to find the people around you that will be able to support you,
Right.
to take you through those rough moments, and to take you through those times where you said, yes, I want to close tomorrow. And they tell you, no, you don't have to, you will not do it, we're here to support you, we're here with you, what do we need to do? That's the most important thing, though. You cannot make anything by yourself only.
Okay.
You need to find yourself the team that is willing to take you to the next step always.
Okay. And conversely, if you're approached, I guess, by somebody, a young girl interested, uh, and they want a mentor, they want information, be open to sharing and not just keeping everything internal to yourself, because, as I said earlier, some people have said that people don't want to share and help people progress
No,
in
yeah,
the industry. So be open to sharing and encouraging.
exactly,
And if
and
you're
answer
a girl
questions.
interested or you have a little girl interested, be encouraging to them so that they, they want to continue. Even when they get no's, negative thoughts from other people close to them, just be encouraging to them. Right?
Of course,
Okay.
that's what we're here for.
All right. Awesome. Were there any questions in the chat? You
Let me
want to?
see here.
Let me see where they're any questions. I, I guess not.
I guess not. Okay.
Okay, so since there are no questions, I just want to say thank you to the amazing Tatiana Serrato for sharing your time with us, your knowledge, expertise, and your passion, which encourages young girls to enter the aviation industry. It was a pleasure being a moderator for this fireside chat, and I hope everybody enjoyed. Enjoy the rest of the event.
Thank you, Julie.
Thank you.